Hey guys, welcome back. I am very excited for today's video. I'm going to be shopping my stash for colors similar to the ones in the new Abh Nouveau palette. I have not bought from that brand in over 2 years and I don't really plan to. It is a beautiful color story though, so I thought I would look through my collection and find some similar shades. I'm also on a low buy as well, so I'm trying to be very cautious with my purchases. And I also own a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So yeah, in this video, I'm gonna show you palettes, single shadows with similar color stories. And I also filmed this eye look. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. If you're new to my channel, I do upload 4 videos a week, a lot of Shop My Stash and Project Pan type videos. I like to do some testing new makeup videos, but not too much. I like to keep that balance. So yeah, let us know if you're getting this palette. It is a really, really beautiful color story. And yeah, let's get started. Alrighty, so I did watch Samantha March's video and Angelica's video about this palette, and it does look beautiful. And I think that the best picture I've seen on Instagram that looks like the colors are really true to color in the photo is the one from Angelica's Instagram. I will put that up. She's awesome. I've been watching her for a long time, and I feel like this picture really, really shows the colors. The ones that really stick out to me are that like olive green shade, obviously that matte lilac periwinkle color. There's a rose gold. There's also that very terracotta shade, a peachy shade. Those are the ones that kind of stick out to me. And this palette gives me the vibes of Natasha Denona mini retro mixed in with a couple other things. So yeah, first up, let me show you one of the first palettes that came to mind that has some similarities. Actually is the Natasha Denona green brown palette. Now obviously I would never suggest you go out and buy this palette instead of a much cheaper palette, but if you already own this palette like I do, you've definitely got some of the greens. There's a really beautiful dark green metallic in the ABH palette. This shade up here kind of looks like that bluish silvery shade in the Anastasia palette. And there's also a bronze too, which is like, okay, so many palettes have bronze shades. So let me do some swatches of this palette of the shades that I think kind of give me the vibe of the Anastasia palette. So I feel like this one, if you combined it with a lilac periwinkle color and then something terracotta, you would totally be set. Let me see. Yeah, this one kind of too. So here are some of the metallics that are giving me some of the vibes of the ABH palette. And this shade here is industrial. This shade is in the mini retro. So if you own that little 5-pan palette, you have this color already. And I love this green. I think this one is actually closer to the one in the Anastasia palette than the one I ended up putting on my eyes, but that is okay. So if you already own this palette, I'm telling you, pair it with a matte terracotta, a periwinkle, and a matte peach, and you are set. Now, everybody's talking about that periwinkle color, and it is absolutely beautiful. The closest I found in my collection is the one in the e.l.f. Retro Paradise. So yeah, this one is really beautiful. Let's see here. Yeah, there it is. That's the one that's on my inner corner. Like I said, I filmed the look, so that will be later in the video. I was trying to look at this palette, like, does it have any other similar shades? Not really, because the bronzes in the Anastasia palette look more like peachy bronzes, where these are like more copper and gold. Although there is this matte peach and there is a peachy matte in the Anastasia. So maybe like 2 or 3 options in this one, but for sure that lavender shade, very similar. As far as other matte peachy shades, I do think that this one from this Sure Thing quad from ColourPop also is similar. So if you have this one, yeah, that looks pretty similar to the shade I actually have in my crease, which I will get to as well. So I think sometimes just look around at different palettes that you already own and find new ways to combine them. That's kind of what I like to do when I see a new palette release that interests me. It can be annoying to pull out several palettes at once to create a look, but it's like if we own 10 plus palettes or 100 like I do, why not combine them, have some fun? That's why I love makeup. So another palette, this one has several similarities, and this is the BH Cosmetics Avocado Toast. This terracotta shade really reminds me of the one in the ABH palette. You've got a dark green. This one pulls more teal, which kind of reminds me of the one in the Anastasia palette. This dark green here, quite similar. And then you also have an olivey type matte shade and a peachy matte. This one actually, honestly, I feel like out of all of these palettes, if you threw this lavender shade here, it may actually be the most similar. I think you could be thrown off by that by seeing this really bright matte green and this one, which are not in the Anastasia palette, but that's why I love this one so much, is that it has more subdued shades combined with really bright shades. So yeah, let me give you some swatches from the BH palette. This is seriously one of the best palettes in my whole collection. The formula is unreal. I absolutely love it. Yeah, this one, I think. Oh, that one is looking kind of similar to the one in the palette. Let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta swatch the matte terracotta. This is actually one of my favorite shades in this palette. It's really, really good. So here's some of the ones from the BH palette. You've got this green shimmer, this rose gold. There is one like that in the ABH palette too. The dark green. This teal shade actually looks a lot like the one in the palette. And then this terracotta, also very, very similar. So, and then there's also like a really dark shimmery brown too that actually kind of looks like that one too. I don't think I've ever used that shade. That's really sad. Why have I not used it? Huh. Yeah. After watching Angelica's video, I actually think that one is really similar. Wow. So if you have this one, seriously, just pair it with a periwinkle matte and you are set. Now, I did also create my own little version with some single eyeshadows as well, and I just wanted to share this too. So I just want to get more use out of my single eyeshadows. I did an eyeshadow palette collection and declutter video in the last couple months, and so many of you guys were surprised by how many single shadows I had, because I do not talk about them a lot on my channel because I don't use them that much, which is really sad. So time to change that. Let me swatch, if I have room left on my arm. I think some of these are actually pretty good dupes. Unfortunately, most of these shades are discontinued, but it's like, if you have them already, you know, pull them out. Why not? So the top row is, this is Devinah Cupid. This is ColourPop Heavenly. And then this is Coastal Scents Bronze Peach, which is such an amazing color. Definitely I'm trying to remember, I think this blue actually is more similar to the one in the Anastasia palette over this one. But anyway, you've got options. Okay, let's start swatching here. Okay, this shade swatches horribly. I'll go ahead and tell you that. These Coastal Scents shadows don't swatch well. They really, really don't. But they work well on the eye, which is all that really matters to me. So the middle row of my palette, wow, these are terrible. This is Olivewood, which you'll see me use in the demo. Now this one is Ice Ballet, and it's actually a shimmer, but it's not that shimmery. So really it looks more like a satin. So I think I could get away with that one instead of the matte one. And then this shade here, whoops, I'm dropping my palette. This shade here is Lucid. It's from AOA Studio from the Shop Miss A website. And that one, I feel like you could use it as a topper shade to get that kind of duochrome effect that there is in the ABH palette. Let me go ahead and swatch the bottom row. All right, and the final three. This one is a really nice rose gold high strung from ColourPop. I know that one is a really popular shade. A lot of people had it. This one is Spicy from AOA Studio. This one's a bit more orange. I think the one in the Anastasia palette is more terracotta, similar to the one in the BH palette. And then this green shimmer is Coastal Scents in Balsam. And I think that this one, seeing it, is a bit brighter than the one in the ABH palette. I think some of these other greens, like this one, I think would have been a better option, but I still like this one. And yeah, that's the one that I'm wearing in today's look. So honestly, I think, yeah, that one looks a lot like the teal in the palette. Yeah, I'm definitely surprised by going through my collection, seeing how many similarities I do have to this palette. So I feel like I'm set. I don't need to buy it. And the quality on all these is great. I will say e.l.f. is not my favorite formula. This palette I think is good, but it's not amazing. But everything else here, BH, my old Coastal Scents Hot Pots, I still think are fantastic. And I need to use my single shadows more. So yeah, I feel like I'm pretty set. I do think this is such a fun color story. And yeah, let's get into the eye look. Okay, let's do the eye look. And I'm gonna do mostly the single shadows. I wanna start with this shade, which is Coastal Scents Bronze Peach. I'm gonna put that in the crease. If anyone still owns Coastal Scents eyeshadows, let me know. Sometimes I think I'm the only one that still has these. But mine are still working and I really like them, so I don't want to get rid of them. This is a really, really, really nice color. Definitely one of my favorite crease shades ever, honestly. I need to use this more. In general, I need to use my single eyeshadows more. Kind of sad. So anyway, next up I want to go with this, the dark green. That's Olivewood from Coastal Scents. And these two shades, when I was trying to dupe the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette, I had both of these shades in that little palette that I created for myself. I love Natasha Denona, but I didn't want to buy that one because the shimmer shade I was most interested in is in the green brown palette. So I was like, I don't really need to spend money on that when I already spent $3 million on the green brown palette. I really like this color though. I think it's really nice. Beautiful dark green. Lovely. Okay, just gonna blend this a little bit there. For the shimmers, there's a lot of options in here. I'm tempted to do, I don't know. Okay, I think I want to use both one of these blue shades and the green. I love this green so much. So I'm gonna actually go, yeah, with this light blue metallic. That is Devinah Cupid is what it's called. Don't know if that one's still around. I haven't checked the Devinah website in a very, very long time. That's pretty. I'm liking it. Okay. This is a really nice color story. I think that's one of the fun things when new palettes come out is you can just use it as inspiration to try something different without, you know, having to buy that thing. Need to remind myself of that more. So then I want to go with this green, which is Coastal Scents in Balsam. I'm just going to use the other side of this same brush. Do I need to spray the brush? Probably. Let's see. Put that here. Oops, I'm getting a little bit of the blue. Oh well. Just wipe that off a bit. I mean, it's a pretty color, so I guess I'm not too mad that some of that traveled over. Yeah, the green in the ABH palette I think is a bit darker than this one, but I didn't have any in single shadow form. I'm sure in palettes I do. But this is a really, really nice shade. Yeah, I think this is brighter than what's in the Anastasia palette. Look at this, I'm getting the blue. All right, we'll cover that up. I'm really enjoying this look though. So I am going to clean up the fallout. I do want to do a lavender on the inner corner. I'm thinking the one that's closest is this one from the e.l.f. palette. I think that's closest to the shade in the ABH palette, and I'll list all the other makeup I'm wearing in the description box, and I'll be back. Alrighty, final look, and I really like how this turned out. I do think that the green is brighter than the one in the palette, but that's okay. I actually prefer this. I love greens, and I do think that this shade Tropicana from the e.l.f. palette is pretty close to the one in the ABH palette. So that's what I put on the inner corner, and then I just put Coastal Scents Olivewood on the lower lash line. I really like this look. I plan on continuing to use, whoops, almost dropped my e.l.f. palette. This little combo here, see what other looks I can do. So yeah, and I will list the other makeup that I'm wearing down below in the description box. Let us know if you're also shopping your stash for this palette or if you did buy it. So yeah, let us know. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.